Good evening and hello, hockey fans. I thought I would start this video at 7 on the evening of Wednesday, 19th of April 2023, North American Eastern Time. Plan to say a little bit more later on the suspension handed out to Michael Bunting by the NHL's Department of Player Safety. But first, I thought I would go through the various games that were, or at least the initial games that were played by various Canadian NHL teams. So first game of those three, of those game ones, was, what was it at home? Was it today is, what is it? Wednesday, so it was late Monday Eastern Time. The Edmonton Oilers played a home game against the Kings to decide which team should win the opening game of that series. That game didn't go very well for the Oilers. It was an initial promise, a 2-0 lead by the end of the first period, and then things kind of fell apart in the third, and, too many penalties. Kings scored this many goals on their own PP, on PPs, and there were 6. 2 for 6. Not good penalty kill for the Oilers. Undisciplined. And we all know what happened. It was not very good. On the other hand, not very good at all. I mean, there weren't any ejections from their games. I think that can't be said about the game that the Leafs played against the Bolts on Tuesday Eastern Time. So 4-3, Stuart Skinner allowed this many ugly goals that I could count. Not very good. Can Skinner bounce back? He's going to have to, or else the others are going to be screwed. And maybe all this debate. Just going to see. Just give me a moment here. Sorry with that. Oh, come on. Sorry with that. Just going to try to. Just trying to get this, flashing screen to stop. Not sure what's going on here. I'm going to try to get this done. In the meantime, I'm just going to see what I can do. Alright, let me just key here. Alright. Just going to, fortunately because of this, I'm just going to Alright, so just going to do this. Looks like Gavrikov greater than Ekholm after all. Well, that was in response to this. Well, tweet by Sportsnet that was on, late or early Tuesday morning Eastern Time. It's going to, it's going to be, there's no doubt the Oilers have to play better. Too many penalties, and it killed them. Leafs start off. The Leafs started off rather poorly in their own game, in their own first game. So down 3-0 by the end of the first period. It was over, but not before a elbow to the head. Michael Bunting, a winger, initiated to Eric Chernak, the latter a defenseman for the Tampa Bay Lightning. The NHL Department of Player Safety decided that Bunts, as a nickname of his, should have to miss the next 3 playoff games the Leafs have left. Or at least that's the minimum number the Leafs have left. Question's going to be... Just going to... So the 21st. Right, so we're going to have here. So we have on Thursday the Leafs play. Be an early one. Well, Eastern time, 7. Broadcast time begins on Sportsnet. Game 3 will go on Saturday. Broadcast time, 7 p.m. on Sportsnet. And Monday. So next week, Monday, will the Leafs get past next week, Monday, Eastern time? Perhaps only if that game goes into multiple overtimes and goes into Tuesday, the clock strikes midnight. But again, it's going to be not very good if the Leafs lose. But Bunts may very well have played his last game of his Leafs career. There's certainly a compelling reason why it was understandable why the Canucks, a Canucks squad that signed a winger, Andrei Kuzmenko, for about the same cap hit for his initial season as the Leafs did for the first 2 seasons of Bunting. There was things were kind of getting close, or going to be. This was his first season. This was Kuzmenko's first season, and although typically an entry-level contract expiry means a player becomes a restricted free agent with no arbitration rights, that was not the case with Kuzmenko. Given his age, by July of this year, he was going to get to walk if he wanted to. But last January, Kuzmenko and the Canucks inked a deal for 2 seasons with a per-season cap hit of $5.5 million US. Kuzmenko has yet to see playoff action in the NHL, although he has in the Continental Hockey League, also known as the KHL, and that's a very tough league to stay in. Just ask Nail Yakupov, a winger drafted number 1 overall by the Edmonton Oilers during his draft year. I can see if I can post a link to that video as soon as at the first available moment I put up, that YouTube video. Or maybe what I'm going to do is just do, in the meantime, I'm just going to see if I can just get to Twitter. Alright, so all I'm going to do is go to that link so that anyone knows. Okay, so triple trade year, Nail Yakupov. Look at this. He bounced around quite a bit. Various clubs. One of them in Moscow Oblast, the other one in St. Petersburg. So what I would do is go now to Andrei Kuzmenko, cap friendly. Where's Kuzi bounce around? Just give me a moment here. There we have. Kuzmenko, cap friendly. Alright. So I'm just going to go. So we're going to go to Kuzmenko. $950,000 US. And let's see about he was undrafted. Oops. Sorry that. Alright. Just close that. Come on. Alright. Alright. Alright, close it. Okay, that's good. So, expiry is... Alright, so he is already 27. So, he turned 27 second month ago. And he has a per season cap hit and modified no trade clause for each of the next 8 seasons. So now we're going to go to, he was, various teams within the CSKA Moscow organization. Star Moscow, Red Army Moscow, whatever. And then SK St. Petersburg. Got some playoff action there. KHL calls those playoffs the Gagarin Cup playoffs, named after a famous astronaut, rather than a British lord. Indeed, now I'm going to do is going to look at Michael Bunting and see what his cap hit is. So let's just go here. All right, so just going to bring him to there. Michael Bunting. Just going to go to there. All right, come on. No. Sorry for that. Just trying to get it to go. Sometimes the responses are a little bit slow. $950. Same as Kuzmenko. So in July, Bunt will become an unrestricted free agent. So what I will do now is go to the announcement by the NHL Department of Player Safety of the length of Bunting's suspension. Well, so here we go. 3 playoff games. That was the news as of what time Eastern? So that was as of shortly before 6:30 Eastern time, and not even an hour ago. So I mean, there's no doubt that I would say that it could be that Bunting has played his last game in the NHL. I mean, Nail Yakupov was, wasn't great, wasn't good, despite having been highly touted. But for Bunting to do this, show some physicality the wrong way, and now he's suspended for 3 games and can't stay in the lineup. Seems like Nazem Kadri all over again. For me, it's relatively simple. The problem with Kyle Dubas' assembly of this team as GM is there haven't been enough physical players. So there are players who claim that they've got to get physical and way over the top, try to demonstrate they can be physical players, because there are not enough of them. This team isn't built right. Well, let's see if the Leafs end up winning that series, but I'm not so confident. Samsonov allowed this many ugly goals. It was pulled to start the third period in favor of Joseph Wall. So that means there may very well be that Samsonov doesn't get a qualifying offer. If it's game 2 and he craps the bet again, I think Samsonov is in trouble. I mean, it's all good and fine to perform well in the regular season, but if it the regular in the postseason that doesn't happen, then maybe it's time maybe it's time to move on. And I think there will be pressure on. I mean, I think there will be pressure on the other players at least to elevate their game, because clearly last night was an embarrassment. Then there was that McCabe hit on Mikey Esamont, now with the Lightning, but formerly with the Jets. Just going to try to. Let's see what the news is on him. So then we have to do with it's what to do about Jake McCabe. So again, McCabe can be Bunting be replaceable. The problem is the controversial hit was on some sort of elbow. So there's no doubt whatsoever that Michael Bunting may be out for the series. But again, Bunting may very well have played his last game. And fault lies with Kyle Dubas and Brendan Shanahan for not going out to find those guys who are physical, who can throw the body around. Even though a lot of other teams have them, even teams that are, that did make the season, have that physicality. At least what the Leafs do. So let's see what happens in the front office, but things don't look too good for Dubas, that's for sure. Brad Treliving, having taken responsibility effectively by having resigned his GM position under a week ago, I think Dubas and Shanahan should be nervous. Because, again, the Leafs lose their playoff series, opening round playoff series. It's 6 in a row, 6 seasons in a row of getting in the postseason, 6 seasons in a row of going out in the opening round. So yeah, Skinner and Samsonov will each have to be better. But then there's also, Leafs did take too many penalties. I mean, Bunting had got 5 in a game, so Leafs are going to have to really understand that being physical has its limits. And then we go to the Winnipeg Jets. Absolutely, very confident that they were confident going into Vegas. This is as if the Jets had no rust on them. Of course, we can always, we do know what happened with the Leafs. Last postseason, Leafs won game 1, 5-0, and then 5-3, too many penalties, and what happened. Wayne Simmons took a dumb penalty, it was a minor, thankfully, not, but then a costly one. And yeah, it's Connor Hellebuck did help with the Jets, and I'm pretty confident. The Jets at worst will go back to Canada Life Center with a split in the series with the Golden Knights. Yes, the Golden Knights were not very golden, but again, these Jets have got to be ready for these Knights to come out hard and try to take control of the game as soon as it starts. That's the thing about teams. Team loses game 1, it's got to get back in game 2, whether it's at home or on the road. And there's no doubt. So I'm just going to see. So I think it was a very interesting tweet. Interesting. There's no doubt interesting to view. I'm going to see about other tweets with their best chat. Get this done. Don't worry, Canada. NHL Jets got your back. That's good. Thank you, NHL Jets. For the end of orders, the Leafs couldn't do. I couldn't agree more. We're going to see what happens. I mean, yeah, if the Jets don't win their first round series, yeah, maybe Kevin Cheveldayoff, longtime GM, will be out the door. But again, who knows? But perhaps Kenny Holland of the Oilers will be out the door. Because again, an argument can be made, the Oilers lose the first round series, okay, he's already won one series and it's just a bump of the road. But again, you can see it the other way that, look at the 2020s. The Oilers lost their opening round series in 2020, 2021. They were swept out to sea. Last season, the Oilers ended up winning 2 series but being swept. And now the Oilers are behind 1-0. Okay, the Oilers have been behind a lot of games. The problem with the Oilers is, well, yeah. They've really got us to up the game. And what I'm going to do is going to see about the Oilers and if there's any info that I should know about. I believe they're playing tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so it's game 2. Alright. So it's 8 Mountain, 10 Pacific, 10 Eastern. So now it's just, I don't know. So broadcast a bit over 2.5 hours now. Yeah, let's go Oilers. Because if these Oilers don't get things done, things are not going to be looking too good. And in terms of whether the Oilers can win if they go down 2-0 at home, it's possible. Hey, the Chicago Blackhawks did so against the Leafs in that 1995 playoff series. But the problem is that these Hawks ended up also, well, had that killer instinct that who knows, the Oilers are going to have it. I mean, the Leafs didn't have a killer instinct to close out that playoff series, and well, yeah, we all know what happened. So, what about the Leafs? Yeah, gonna have to make some changes. I mean, even if Bunting had not been suspended, the fact that he removed himself from consideration for at least the next couple games from being on the top line, I think speaks volumes. He can't handle the pressure, and I think he's a liability. Yes, he may very well find another NHL team, but it could be that if the Leafs don't re-sign him, I think that maybe he's going to have trouble finding another team willing to take him on. I mean, it may be that only after he undergoes a professional tryout of some sort does he even make it. I mean, Zach Astor-Reese did, and it's been kind of mixed. But there'll be so many players for the Leafs who become unrestricted free agents or otherwise become restricted FAs with arbitration rights that, yeah, there are going to be some changes in the offseason. It's just be a question of which ones. And definitely look forward to seeing the Oilers and Kings. And I think these Jets, if they can continue to get going, shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, it's very interesting times indeed. But yeah, the Leafs have got to up their game. And if they don't, I think they're going to have to be bigger changes in the offseason. I mean, basically time to, end this team, blow it up. So there'll definitely be pressure to do that. But For now, it's just a matter of figuring out if the Leafs can salvage this playoff series. It's not clear that they will, but maybe they will. You never know. Anyway, go Oilers go, go Jets go, and go Leafs go. And before I go, just also mention that if you like the video, you're free to click a like. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you're free to do so. I do plan to put videos up at least every other week. I also am very active on Twitter. And as you can see that I'm taking screenshots of that profile of mine. So yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye and good luck to the Canadian teams that did qualify for the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs.